Well, I mean, I agree with both the guys. Profile-wise, they are different, different ages. I know that they looked at both in 2023, Sesko in the January and Watkins in the summer. With Watkins in particular, they were quoted £80 million by Aston Villa, so decided that it was too much. They went for Rasmus Højlund instead, and that was a mistake. But the situation with Højlund is they took a gamble on a player with potential to become a top player in the future, which is a little bit like the situation they'd have right now with Sesko. We know he's got potential, probably ahead of Højlund was when he came to United from Atalanta, but he's still not the finished product. And I don't think United are in the position right now where they can take a gamble on such a crucial position. So at this moment in time, Ollie Watkins is probably a better bet because he is Premier League ready. You know he's going to score the goals. Yes, he's older. And Rob mentioned resale value on Sesko. A club like Man United shouldn't be signing players because of resale value. Man United are one of the biggest clubs in the world, despite the fact they're not playing well right now. They should be signing players to win trophies and to make the team better. Resale value shouldn't really come into it, but that's where they're at. And one concern for me would be if they don't know yet which one is their target. They must have a priority. They must know which one is their favourite option. It can't just be a case of who's the cheapest, because they have to have a player that fits their profile. So it does feel a little bit like not making up as he goes along, but just kind of spinning plates in the air and seeing which one drops on the floor first and which one smashes. So it's not ideal, but they're two very good strikers. But I think right now Watkins would be a better option because he's ready-made and Premier League ready.
Rob, word is that Gigio Donnarumma could be leaving PSG. Is there any talk of him potentially coming in at Manchester United?
He's a player that's been linked with him in the past. He's been linked again this summer. United do have an issue with their goalkeeper. Andre Onana has come in and has had an up and down 2 seasons, I think is the best way to put it. Where he's made an awful lot of mistakes, an awful lot of good saves, but lots of the fans think that he's just far too inconsistent and makes too many big mistakes to be United's first choice goalkeeper. United did make a loan offer for Emi Martinez at Aston Villa, an offer that was swiftly turned down. Villa said that they weren't in the mood to enter any negotiations unless it was for a permanent deal for around sort of 30 or 40 million. United decided that was probably too expensive. There hasn't been that much noise around the goalkeeper situation since, because it seems right now like Andre Onana, even though he's injured, is going to stay and start the season as United's first choice. So I think United's priority right now is to sort that striker role out. If they can get a striker in, maybe they can get a few other players off the books, the likes of Alejandro Garnacho, Anthony, Jadon Sancho, Tyrone Malacia, all 4 players who aren't with the squad in Chicago, who are all back home in Manchester. United need to facilitate departures for them, maybe raise some funds. If that happens and they get a striker in, then there is a possibility that they may be able to wheel and deal at other areas of the squad, the goalkeeper possibly. They also probably need a number 6. So there is the possibility of more to come, but United's message really is that they're trying to be really, really cautious in this window. Mark has mentioned there about United making mistakes in the transfer market in the past. The one thing that United don't want to do in this window is make mistakes, and they would rather stick with what they've got than make a big money mistake.
So, Mark, that would mean you would start the season in the goalkeeping position without Onana and without a new keeper coming in. Is that a concern for Manchester United?
Absolutely, because they've identified they need a goalkeeper. They wouldn't have made a move for Emi Martinez if they didn't think they needed a goalkeeper. So I think they'll sort that situation out, because Rob's talking about mistakes. Sometimes a mistake can be doing nothing. And if United do nothing in the goalkeeper department, that'll be a mistake, because Onana's not good enough. Bayande is less good enough. Tom Heaton actually is he's probably the best goalkeeper in the books, but he never plays. I think he's 40 now, so Amorim clearly doesn't trust him. The situation with Donnarumma is interesting because PSG are about to sign Lucas Chevalier, top rated young goalkeeper, and Donnarumma's got a year left on his contract. I do wonder whether United are being used a little bit to kind of promote Donnarumma's availability. He's a great goalkeeper, Donnarumma, but in terms of his feet, I don't think he's good enough for the Premier League in terms of what United want to do. I just don't think his distribution is what a top Premier League club needs. But he's a great goalkeeper, but he won't come cheap. I just think that United are probably being used a little bit, but they do need a goalkeeper. That is absolutely clear, because the mistakes that Onana made last season were very costly, and I don't think he'll change. So the problem they've got is they've got to find a goalkeeper in the next 5 weeks.
Come on, Mark. Manchester United would be lucky to have Gigi Donnarumma, man. Come on, don't tell me that they turned down Donnarumma because he can't.
Absolutely.
They can't, because he can't play with his feet, and that you'd rather have Tom Heaton playing with his feet. Come on, that's that.
No, you're absolutely. Listen, Ollie, you're absolutely right. Donnarumma would make them much better, but I think the way that United want to play under Amorim, the one negative of Donnarumma's game, which he can get away with at PSG because all the players around him are so good. If Donnarumma's inability with his feet is playing for Man United, that would be exposed. And, you know, as good as a goalkeeper as he is, it would just create a problem, which David De Gea had. Great goalkeeper, not great with his feet. But, yes, he'd be an upgrade on what they've got, absolutely. But he'd be an expensive upgrade.
Oh, well, can I just tell you, why would Gianluigi Donnarumma leave PSG to go to Manchester United? That should be the first question.
Oh.